From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordeau, and this is your News 8 Daily for Wednesday, October 15th. Partly cloudy skies out there, kind of a spooky, gloomy feel today. Might have a stray sprinkle, but don't count on a lot of rain. We started out warmer this morning in the 60s, but we're only going to get to the low 70s today. Again, low temperature today is going to be near 50 degrees. No big amount of rain, likely until this weekend.
What can 160 years of experience teach you about the future? A lot, especially when it comes to protecting what matters. At Pacific Life, we've helped people and businesses confidently embrace the future with life insurance, retirement income, and employee benefits. With strategies built on strength and trust, and a promise to be here for you today and tomorrow. Ask a financial professional how Pacific Life can help you today. Pacific Life Insurance Company, Omaha, Nebraska, and in New York. Pacific Life and Annuity, Phoenix, Arizona.
New on Daybreak, online records now show that Johnson County Coroner Mike Pruitt is scheduled to be back in court in December. We're also learning that Pruitt is back in the Johnson County Jail following his court appearance, but will likely be out of jail this morning. News 8's Hernan Gutierrez is on the story and spoke with jail staff this morning.
Originally, when he turned himself in, he was at Johnson County. They sent him to Brown County to avoid any kind of conflict of interest with jail staff he might know. But now we are learning that he is back in Johnson County. Online court records show that the judge set Pruitt's bond at $3,000 and he pled not guilty. Records also show that he must be served with 2 no contact orders before he can post bond. According to the deputy sheriff there in Johnson County, that process is expected to happen sometime this morning. Now, his next court appearance, is scheduled for December 9th. The 60-year-old is accused of harassing, stalking, and giving a 17-year-old girl alcohol. As we first told you yesterday morning, Pruitt turned himself in after a judge issued a warrant for his arrest. Last week, a special prosecutor charged him with misdemeanors, including giving alcohol to the girl and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Just over a month ago, a judge issued a protective order to stop Pruitt from contacting the girl. Prosecutors say Pruitt began mentoring the girl last year. Then, sometime after that mentorship began, the two started to exchange messages about alcohol. Investigators say Pruitt gave the girl alcohol and told her how to hide the drinks in her bedroom. Prosecutors also say at some point, Pruitt shot a video of her while she was intoxicated. After the girl told Pruitt to stop texting her, investigators then say he continued to contact her and tracked her location using mobile apps. You might recall seeing Pruitt on Wish TV numerous times as part of his work as a spokesperson for fire departments across central Indiana. Also this month, I-Team 8 reported that 5 deputy coroners in Johnson County resigned over the allegations against Pruitt. His appearances are currently scheduled to take place in Hancock County to avoid conflict of interest with judges in Johnson County. I'm Hernan Gutierrez for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
Here in Indianapolis, a new judge has set a trial date for December 11th for Fox football commentator Mark Sanchez in his felony battery case. Online records show that the case is now assigned to Marion County Superior Court Judge James Osborne. The initial judge recused herself yesterday. Prosecutors charged Sanchez with attacking a 69-year-old man outside the Westin Hotel downtown earlier this month. Investigators say the man was a cooking oil delivery driver and stabbed Sanchez in self-defense. A pretrial conference in the case is set for next week. New on Daybreak, the man under arrest for his role in a shooting inside a CVS is set to be in court for the first time tomorrow. Police took 46-year-old Terry Rowe Jr. into custody on Monday. Shooting was last week inside the CVS near 10th and Linwood on the east side. Police say, along with Rowe, 2 women were injured in the gunfire. Investigators say it started with Rowe's aggressive behavior toward a staff member over prescription issues. Police also say another man fired shots at the scene. Officers initially detained him, then released him. Your statewide news network covers Spencer County, where 2 people are dead in what investigators call a murder-suicide. It happened just after noon in Santa Claus. According to state police, Jamie Adkins called the sheriff's department saying she had shot her husband. Officers went to the home and found John Adkins dead and Jamie Adkins fatally wounded. She died at the hospital in Kentucky. Police are not saying what may have led to the shooting. President Trump's border czar is urging state lawmakers to pass a sweeping immigration enforcement bill in Indiana next session. Tom Homan spoke to lawmakers at the State House yesterday. News 8 government reporter Garrett Bergquist outlines what Homan is looking for.
State lawmakers last session tried to pass a broad immigration enforcement bill. It dealt with, among other things, business licenses and enforcement actions against sanctuary jurisdictions. Homan, Attorney General Todd Rokita, and Governor Mike Braun all are calling on lawmakers to try again. Homan maintains the Trump administration is targeting those who pose an actual criminal threat.
Last time I looked at the data, right around 70% of everybody ICE arrests is a criminal. Either a criminal conviction or pending criminal charges, which means we found them in a jail. Who are the other 30%? Many of them are final orders deportation. They had due process at great taxpayer expense.
Neither the public nor the media were allowed inside the House chamber to watch the speech. The Attorney General's office streamed it on social media. State Representative J.D. Prescott says he plans to introduce a new version of a bill he filed this past session. It would penalize employers who knowingly employ or recruit someone who's in the country illegally. It would require the Attorney General to defend any agency from a civil lawsuit involving enforcing immigration detainers. And it would increase citizenship reporting requirements for public assistance programs, such as Medicaid. Amy Guzman is a naturalized citizen from Colombia. She says all of this feels like a deliberate effort to target all immigrants.
I mean, this is a traumatizing thing for everyone. Not only, citizens, non-citizens, whether you're Latino or not, or any type of immigrant. It is a traumatizing thing. It is something that, causes us to kind of go into fight or flight and feel like, hey, we've got to be out here. We've got to speak out. We've got to do whatever we can to protest this.
Republican lawmakers, including Prescott, turned down News 8's requests for an on-camera interview. Homan did not answer reporters' questions as he left. Prescott sent a statement Tuesday evening. He says today's discussion on immigration policy is about ensuring Indiana takes action when the federal government can't. We must have fair, consistent enforcement that prioritizes public safety and supports our law enforcement officers who are doing their jobs every day. Similar legislation passed the House last year but died in the Senate. Homan says federal law limits how much he can lobby for the bill, but he wants lawmakers to keep pushing.
Whatever you can do, state of Indiana, to help us make Indiana safer. I'm not saying every little alien is a public safety threat, but many are. Help us, because every public safety threat we remove from this country makes your neighborhood safer.
Lawmakers will assemble for Organization Day early next month. We expect that is when we'll learn what their priority legislation will be. The legislative session itself begins in January. At the State House, I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
Israel claims one of the bodies Hamas handed over in the ceasefire agreement is not a dead hostage. So far, Israel says Hamas has released 8 bodies. Leaders believe 28 dead hostages were in Gaza. Israel's military had warned it would cut aid deliveries to Gaza if Hamas did not turn over the remains. Hamas says some of the bodies are difficult to find amid the rubble from the war. Hamas is also accusing Israeli soldiers of violating the ceasefire by firing gunshots in parts of Gaza yesterday. Happening today, unions representing federal employees are going to court to try to stop the Trump administration from firing workers during the government shutdown. Amy Kiley reports on the legal move and the current concern about pay for troops.
A resolution needs to be made.
This is an important day for many federal workers caught up in the government shutdown. It's payday for U.S. service members. President Donald Trump says they are getting checks due to a reallocation of funds. The White House says the money is from the Pentagon's research and development budget. In Congress, a standalone measure to pay troops is getting growing bipartisan support, but so far it's been unsuccessful.
That mental burden on a military family is not something that they should be carrying when their service members are still going to work every single day.
Also today, 2 unions are trying to stop the layoffs of federal workers who've lost their jobs during the shutdown. They're asking a judge in San Francisco for an emergency injunction.
I think that this is absolutely un-American to have such actions taken against very patriotic employees.
The Trump administration says in a court filing about 4,100 employees are affected. About a quarter of them are with the Department of Health and Human Services.
The government has grown too big.
Other federal workers deemed essential continue to work without pay. Yesterday's checks for air traffic controllers contain only what they earned before the government closed.
Their focus is now on, when I get off my shift today, do I have to go and drive Uber tonight?
I'm Amy Kiley for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
Also new this morning, the Social Security Administration is delaying its annual cost of living adjustment because of the government shutdown. The adjustment, known as COLA, determines how much more money those drawing Social Security will get each check. The agency was set to announce the COLA today, but now it says it won't happen until October 24th. That's next week. Because of inflation numbers for September, they are not calculated just yet. Colts watch now. There are new reports that the team is making a move to shore up the quarterback position after placing Anthony Richardson on injured reserve. Several outlets are reporting that the Colts have signed veteran backup Brett Rippon to the practice squad. There's no official confirmation from the Colts yet. Rippon has played with 7 teams in his 7 NFL seasons. Most recently, he was with the Bengals. Cincinnati released him last week. Richardson is out for at least a month after the Colts say he broke a bone around his eye during pregame warm-ups on Sunday. Pacers watch. Reggie Miller is commending Tyrese Halliburton for risking it all in his NBA Finals run. Halliburton posted the video on X, sharing a first look at the series on Netflix called Starting 5. It's the second season for the show and gives you a behind-the-scenes look at several NBA superstars' 2024-25 season, including Halliburton, meaning it will likely show part of the Pacers' playoff run and Halliburton's torn Achilles in Game 7 of the Finals. Listen to the powerful moment from Miller here.
He risked it all. He risked it all for a franchise, for a state, for an organization. How many guys in life, how many women in life are willing to risk it all?
The new season of Starting 5 premieres tomorrow on Netflix. Instagram says it's going PG-13 for teenagers. Meta made the announcement yesterday. The update means people using teen-specific accounts will only be able to see content they would see in a movie rated PG-13. So no strong language, drug use, dangerous stunts, or sexual activities. Instagram says the setting cannot be changed without a parent or guardian's permission. People under 18 who sign up for Instagram are automatically placed into a private teen account. Meta says it is also using AI to detect users' age, but the company would not say how many adult accounts it has detected as actually being teenagers. Here's Jane King now with your business headlines. She starts with a stock market perspective on the new Indiana investments from Stellantis.
Of course, Stellantis is a Netherlands-based company, but they do trade here at the New York Stock Exchange. And the stock, when this announcement was made last night, up by 5% overnight. Now, it is down about 24% so far this year, but we will watch it, and maybe this is the kind of boost that it will need to lift the stock this year. Of course, as you've been reporting, the company will create 5,000 jobs at a few plants in the Midwest, including in Kokomo, where 100 jobs will be added there. And this is the largest single one-time investment that the company has made. Well, the nation's small businesses are getting less confident. For the first time in 3 months, the Small Business Index shows some pessimism. They blame inflation, a weaker sales outlook, and a labor shortage. Well, President Trump posted on Truth Social last night that China not buying U.S. soybeans is a hostile act. He says the U.S. may terminate buying cooking oil from China, as well as some other elements of trade. Now, China has been the top buyer of U.S. soybeans by far, importing some 27 million metric tons valued at almost $13 billion last year. And Meta removed a Facebook group page on Tuesday that was allegedly used to dox and target U.S. immigration and customs enforcement agents in Chicago. Well, Meta removed the page after being contacted by the Department of Justice about it. Meta's removal of the Facebook group page follows similar moves from Apple and Google, which have removed apps that could be used to anonymously report sightings of ICE agents and other law enforcement. Well, stocks finished mixed after a volatile day, whipsawed by the headlines about China trade. This morning, though, we are looking at a higher start. Live from the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Jane King. Back to you.
2 helpful hounds are back in central Indiana after comforting a Michigan community torn by tragedy. The animals are part of a program aimed at helping people heal from all kinds of adversity. News 8's Malia Van Ostrin explains.
The dogs spent several days offering emotional support to first responders and survivors after the deadly shooting. Their handlers say that the dogs have a special way of bringing comfort and peace when words often fall short. Meet Magdalene and Eternity, 2 of 6 comfort dogs who traveled to help people cope after the September 28th shooting in Grand Blanc, Michigan, when a gunman drove a pickup truck into the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, fired shots, and set the church on fire. Suzanne Ward is one of Eternity's handlers and went on the week-long trip to Michigan. One of the moments that stuck out to her was at the coroner's office when an employee came in on her day off for comfort. 4 people died and 8 people were hurt.
And one of the dogs just noticed that she was just really hurting and went over and just buried her head into this lady's lap. And this lady just hugged on this dog for probably a good 30 minutes.
Ward says that woman personally knew the gunman and had a lot of angst that she wanted to relieve. The Comfort Dog Ministry is a national program run by Lutheran Church Charities that connects trained therapy dogs with people in crisis. Magdalene has been serving at Cornerstone Lutheran Church in Carmel since 2023, and Eternity just joined the team last month.
They provide comfort to those who are hurting and or grieving or under stress.
The Golden Retrievers work 6 days a week serving Central Indiana and visit places such as nursing homes, hospitals, recovery and foster care agencies, schools, and anywhere where tragedy is.
The dogs have over 2,000 hours of training before we get trained to handle them, but there is ongoing training with them. We have 14 handlers for the 2 dogs right now.
Reverend Max Murphy says the Comfort Dog Ministry started just a few years ago. He's glad it's now grown to a team of 45 people who work with the dogs in the community.
I have just been amazed at how we're able to share the love of God through this ministry. It's become so much more than I realized it could be.
They like to play and run around, so when they're not working, they get to be real dogs and have fun together, which is really fun to see.
In Carmel, I'm Aaliyah Van Ostrand for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
A Halloween tradition is back at the Children's Museum of Indianapolis. It is the 61st year for the haunted house. News 8's Colin Bailey checked it out this morning.
Celebrating Halloween is paying homage to the 100 years of history here at the Children's Museum, and I'm one of the head witches, Tracy. Thanks for being here. I had to get dressed up to fill the part, maybe to join you guys in some of the scare, maybe some of the not scare, but talk about this. There's sessions for adults, young kids, there's something for everyone, whether you want to be scared or not through Halloween.
Absolutely. Right now you're dressed for friendly hours and you'd be in our Arctic icy abyss and handing out a nice treat to kids. But after dark, 4 to 9, we're going to scare you Thursday through Saturday. Costumes are not going to be friendly, and we are going to turn down the lights, no nice music, and it's going to get a little bit scarier. Good jump scare, though.
And so it is a separate charge from the museum, but it all goes back. It's a fundraiser.
It is. It's actually the largest annual fundraiser for the museum. We've raised $17.4 million for the museum to date on our 60 years, and we're hoping for this one, for the 100 years, to be a blockbuster year.
And talk about some of the themes. There's multiple different rooms you'll walk through. In the end, that tunnel, it tripped me out walking through. My eyes were not working in there.
No, that vortex tunnel is our black hole. The space room is the last one, and it's going to make you feel a little bit dizzy. But we do have an alternative. If you can't handle it, you can skip it.
What's your favorite part? What's your favorite part of the season, being here and being one of the witches here? Your cackle was awesome. You don't have to show up, but that was awesome.
I'll be happy to give you a cackle. But it is an amazing opportunity. This house has a different room for some of our favorite exhibits in the museums from today or from years gone by, like the Yellow Submarine, and you might see Martimus in the area that you've been hanging out in, Mr. Penguin. Yeah. You know, my favorite might be this carousel room. I love some of the details in the house. It's just, we've really shown off what we can do, and it takes about 5 weeks for 20 women to do this. So we spend a lot of hours in a very short amount of time to get this done.
And you have now, through Halloween, to come check it out again. It's the 61st year of this, and it is awesome. So many different rooms paying homage to the 100 years the Children's Museum is celebrating. For now, here at the Children's Museum, I'm Colin Bailey for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
This has been your News 8 Daily from Wish TV. I'm Hannah Mordeau. Watch us on Wish TV and WishTV.com.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go, connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.